What's up? It's your girl Worthy V, and welcome back to my channel. Listen, guys, I just want to stop in real quick to just share something with you. I'm getting ready to head to the mountain with my friend, and I want to share something with you. It was so crazy. Okay, so the other day, me and my son was having a conversation, and he was saying, well, first of all, this conversation showed me that you are never done healing. Healing is an ongoing process. And God can send a message through absolutely anybody. You can learn from your children. So always be open-minded. You can learn from anybody. So always be open-minded on your healing journey, okay? So anyway, my son, my 18-year-old, said, Mom, why don't you, he was like, you are a licensed cosmetologist. Like, you are a beauty expert. Like, why don't you ever review wigs and lashes and stuff on your channel? Like, why don't you talk about that kind of stuff? And so immediately I was triggered. I was. And it wasn't his intention. This was a healing moment for me. This was a learning moment. I was triggered. I was like giving every excuse in the world as to why I don't do that. But in my spirit, I knew that every excuse I was giving was only an excuse. It was only a cover up, right? And so then toward the end of our conversation, I thought back to two very exact situations in my life that it came up as, the truth of the matter. So the situations were, I remember being in middle school and in high school. And in both situations, in both schools, I went to school with family members. I had a cousin in middle school and a cousin in high school. And y'all, every day, these cousins would walk, and they weren't related. One was from my daddy's side and one was from my mama's side. So they didn't even know each other. Every day, these people would walk straight past me like they didn't even know me, would not speak to me, barely would speak, would roll their eyes. And when I would speak, I would feel like I'm damn near having to bust through the crowd to speak to y'all, and you're my fucking blood, right? And I never addressed it. I never addressed how it made me feel. I never addressed how it flawed my self-worth. I never addressed how, at an early age, coming from women, girls that were supposed to be, inherited, people that you deal with in your life, they didn't for me. They both was lighter skin. I don't know. I was like, well, maybe, I was too dark, or maybe because I didn't wear Jordans and stuff to school all the time, or maybe I wasn't a part of the popular crew, or whatever the case may be. But either way, whatever the excuse was, it doesn't matter. It flawed my self-worth. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough. It made me feel like I wasn't pretty enough. It made me feel like I wasn't, cool enough, or whatever the case may be. I wasn't enough. It made me feel that way. And it may be minor to others, but to me, being ignored by my family made me feel like I wasn't good enough. So I never dealt with it. I just carried it along through my life. That feeling, that memory, maybe I couldn't describe every time it happened, but I remember how it made me feel every time it happened, right? So I realized in that very moment that I still had some self-development to do in my esteem, because jumping forward into my adulthood, I can sit back and recall exact situations where I was put in position to do certain things and I didn't give my all because I had low self-worth. I didn't feel like I was good enough to do it. And it's crazy because I was chosen. I was put in that position because obviously I was good enough. Other people seen the light. Other people seen my worth. But for whatever reason, it was challenging for me to see it. It was a challenge. I did not recognize how amazing I was at that time. I didn't realize how beautiful, how pretty, how gorgeous I was at that time. I looked at myself and felt like, oh, I don't have enough body, or oh, I don't have enough this, or I don't have enough that. And all the while, I had everything that I needed to do everything I needed to do. So I don't know. That was definitely something that my son helped me come to, realize yesterday when we was talking, because on this journey, like I continue to tell you, the journey of healing is never done. There are always going to be little circumstances and situations that come up in your life that are going to remind you of the things that need to be healed in your life. And a lot of times it comes through the people that are closest to us. Why? Because they're close to us. They were put on our journey with us for that reason. Those two cousins were put in place to challenge that and to help me to correct it. It wasn't done for me to be angry with them or for me to be like, oh, I don't fuck with them cousins. No, no, that's an immature mind that would feel that way. But for someone who is on a journey of intentional, like healing, I am intentionally trying to heal and correct things that have happened along the way that devalued me. Because some things did devalue my self-worth and the way I look at myself and the way I feel about myself. And it's like, dang, that did that? But it did. It did. It did. So I encourage you today, on this Sunday, to just sit back and don't run from it. And don't feel ashamed of it. Because it's nothing to be ashamed of. If you have low self-esteem, if you don't feel like you're pretty enough, if you don't feel like you're good enough, if you don't feel like you're smart enough, maybe it's up to you to change that perspective because somebody put that thought in your head. God is in you. You are made in pure perfection. God didn't do anything or put anything on you that would deem you unworthy. You are everything, baby. You are loved. I love you. And I want you to get it right. And I'm going to get it right. So anyway, it's your girl, Worthy V. And I'm signing out. And I love you with all my heart. I love you to life. I love you to life. Okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Because when you're hanging with your girl, it's always a vibe. I holla.